Alright, greetings and salutations, my name is Comic Fire, and welcome back to Voice Crack Tensei. No, I'm kidding. Shin Megami Tensei, Digital Devil Saga. I want to say we're getting close to the end of the Karma Temple, but as this episode length has probably tipped you off, we are not. Well, if things were simple, yes, we'd be very close. After all, it's maybe about 5 minutes of walking till the end. But let's pad it out. Let's activate a switch, then walk back to the center anyway. And raise it. Now, I don't know if I've said it before, but climbing giant towers slash mountains slash structures in video gaming is one of my favorite things in the world. Just the feeling of getting infinitely higher and higher up. It feels exhilarating. It's like I'm breaking the rules. I'm so high above the sky, I shouldn't be here. I guess it's like sort of like the same thing as flying, but it's part of the reason why I love games like Minecraft. I think everyone really loves Minecraft, or at least likes it. It's just, especially in like the extreme hills biomes, where like with those giant, weird-looking mountains. Those are just thrilling, and I always try to build giant structures on top of them. Like, I was in a server once, and I joined when everyone else had already put some serious work in. And there were a bunch of, like, of those extreme hills. And they built, like, an entire sky village on top of it. And it was the coolest thing. There was a big abandoned mountain next to it, so I sort of, like, shaped it down with a bunch of... I ruined a ton of steel shovels with it. And I built like a citadel on top of it, and I eventually ended up linking it to their sky village. And then I don't remember what happened. The server went away, and I'm not sure if we got griefed. No, we got griefed to hell and back in that server, and we just ended up making a new one. And then that got griefed. And I think at that point I gave up on Minecraft. At least for a year. Then other like tall mountains of gaming, like the final world of Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance is honestly my favorite world in all of gaming. Like, not just my final finale or anything. That place is just my favorite level in all of gaming. The game itself was... I actually really enjoyed it. But just that level alone, climbing up... Well, I can't really spoil it, because it is a pretty giant spoiler. But for those who know what I'm talking about, I liked it a lot. And the Karma Temple really does this for me, too. Especially when you can see it from the outside. With these two big bird demons flying around. Now, I was trying not to use a disk mute because I wanted to hit minimum solar noise and see if I could just get rid of mute myself. But it didn't end up happening. I thought you weren't allowed to kill us. Anyway, this is Ariel Shatayu. And it reflects or resists a lot of things. So I pretty much didn't even bother. Mind charge lasts words for days. Especially when it's doing quadruple digit damage. Now I saw the 3 press turn icons and Mudoon, and I got scared. I think it's also packing Mamudoon. Oh yeah, Gate of Hell too. I almost cried. Fortunately didn't stone anyone. feel like this is one of the situations where Repel Death would be nice, simply to not kill it, but get rid of all of its icons at once. And this is Ariel Garuda, who is much tougher. Really, the only way to handle this guy is with physical attacks and almighty attacks, because he kind of resists everything else under the sun. Except maybe consume skills, but I imagine they'd only do like 1 damage. He's got Power Charge and Mind Charge. And I didn't realize he had Kaja until I actually started using Kaja skills. I didn't buff myself once the entire time I played this game the first time. At least he doesn't have Megiddo Leon. That would have been infinitely scarier. But a Power Charged Megadola is probably equally as scary. Or a Mind Charge, as it were. So I like Suku Kaja more than any other thing, because... well, first off, it can make him waste a turn trying to use Kaja. And it gives me the chance to avoid his spell instead of just trying to tank it with, like, Raku Kaja or Maka Kaja. It doesn't end up working a lot of the time, but when it does work, it's something special. Because also at this time I realized you could probably store Power Charge and Mind Charge at the exact same time. Not really practical, because why go mixed when you can just go all the way in one thing? It works in Pokemon, not so much in SMT. I was actually really scared about this fight, but looking back, it turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to turn out. Now, an interesting thing about the Makatora skill that Argilla just picked up, it costs 50 MP, and the target, which is one of your party members, gets 50 MP. What's it for? Shuffling MP around. Which I guess would be nice for, like Heat, who doesn't have much of a use for MP. Except maybe Power Charges. If you're gonna use Heat, you're using them for Power Charged Ragnaroks. And this is the big Needhawker that you would fight in the Brute Space. Although he's not as scary as the one you fight in the Brute Base. But for a random, he's still got Psycho Rage, which is still terrifying. Yeah, let's buff my magic and then use a physical skill. There's something about seeing a large Karma terminal and getting into an encounter. It crushes you. Expel Repel! It rhymes. This is the only time I've ever had someone... they're all mastered at the same time. Now with Insane God, which you get from mastering Seraphim and Cherubim, you can get Sakaja and Dakunda. Along with Xanadu, which is the only light-based skill that could actually kill. All the other ones just do HP-based damage. I didn't know what I wanted to do here with so little Maka. You really couldn't do anything with so little Maka. And you get to endgame and 150,000 Maka is just good for chump mantras. It's crazy. I wish there was a skill in this game where you could get, like, extra Maka. But I can understand, I guess, why they didn't do that. As long as you can just farm for cells. Which sounds like some sort of weird stem cell research thing. See, now I'm getting kind of distracted because I went back into the recording, and I watched it again, and the music isn't actually cutting out in the recording, it's just cutting out while I'm trying to watch it in Vegas. And right now it's coming back for half a second, then going away for half a second, then coming back for half a second, then going away for half a second. It's hard to focus with that. Yeah, this... Oh. These things are terrifying. This is Samael. This thing was a boss in the last game. The last game being Nocturne, I should say. You don't want to mess with Samaels. These things are packing 2 very scary skills, and they're the only ones I've seen from it because I keep trying to run away from them. Samaels are packing Bloodbath, which is an insanely powerful physical skill. And they're packing Ma Reverts, which has a chance to turn everyone back into humans. Yeah, this is the most annoying thing in the game, because now we're messing with invisible walls and teleportation tiles. First time I played this game, I said you could never pay me to do this again. Except I knew the instant I beat this game, I knew I'd play through the Karma Temple one last time. And why would I do that? For this LP. I will say that I will probably never go through the Karma Temple again for as long as I may live. I will play through the entire game again, up until here, and I will reload a save right in front of the final boss. By the way, you can fight Shatayu and Garuda as regular enemies here too. Watch out for gated death if you fight Shatayu. How do they have room to fly in here? This is a very, very limited hallway, and it doesn't have room to flap his wings.
I'm sorry. I'll make this quick.
Yay, items. And here we get a chakra pot. Yes. And a small Karma terminal, which is great, because I really don't want to get ambushed by a Samael and lose everything. Now these are Lakshmis, and they're very dangerous, and I should have brought it up earlier. But these things have a very nasty strategy. They use Dormina to put you to sleep. Awful, am I right? Just wait till you hear this, and their skill Calm Death. Calm Death is a 100% effective instant kill spell. There is literally nothing you can do to stop it. short of being awake. If you're asleep, nope, dead. Calm death kills the sleeping. And since it's a lot harder to put enemies to sleep in this game than it is to put you asleep, you can't really expect to use, Sleepy Calm Death. This isn't Bravely Default, where you can, group cast sleep and then use the Twilight skill that kills anything sleeping. Which is how I got to level 99 in about an hour. Now this is Horus. It uses that Xanadu spell I talked to you about. And these things are much less scary than, Krellsvelgers. Because yeah, I could retreat. Or I could use one of those instant death things I'm never gonna use. Oh, whoops, weak to death. They drop a lot of Manga, too. Now, in one of the, secret hidden super boss areas, there's a hall where all that you will encounter are Horuses. So just slap on Mamuto on, or really just Mamuto, and go to town. The only issue with it is it's really far away from a Karma terminal, so trying to farm Horuses for AP and whatnot, it's really not the best option in the world. You ever, like, talk, and you're trying to choke back a burp, too? Like, you can feel it trying to come up, so you're talking like, well... I hate when that happens. Maybe that doesn't happen to anyone else. I guess it could work with a hiccup, too, but I haven't had hiccups since I was 11, so... Yeah, you think I'm kidding, but I'm not. I distinctly remember the last time I got hiccups. I was driving in a car.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to talk to you about my life for a bit, because there's nothing else to explain here. In the game, at least. I used to be huge into manga. Like, I mean ridiculously huge. I enjoy a good manga nowadays, but this is the time where I'd literally read anything. You know, back in the day, before I had to pay for my own manga, you know? You buy manga? What a loser. Yes, I enjoy having a nice physical collection. I'm actually right now looking at my shelf with every edition of Dragon Ball Z. I'd like to add the original Dragon Ball to that list, but that's $64 I don't have. Like, if I even found them for 1 cent with $3.99 shipping on Amazon, like I did with a lot of them. But anyway, back to the story. I might have actually been 10, never mind. It's a very long time ago. But I was driving with my mom, and I just bought... Well, she bought for me, because, you know, I didn't have money at the time. It was like volume... What, I want to say 14 or 13? So whenever they're fighting the androids 19 and 20 on the island where they blow it up before Goku goes down to a heart attack. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched Dragon Ball Z already. Like, what? And I got hiccups. And I'm trying to read it in the car, and I'm not having a good time because I keep hiccuping. And this thing must have lasted for 3 hours. Like, am I going to be like that guy who had 60 years of hiccups? Yeah, there was a guy who had hiccups for 61 years. Poor fucker. Poor dude. And I'm worried, like, I hope I never get hiccups after this. Lo and behold, here I am, 9 years later. And I've yet to get hiccups again. I tell people at work that and they don't believe me. Yeah. If I could go back to elementary school, I totally would. Let me rephrase that. I wish if I could go back in time to when, like, 2005 and whatnot. It's, you know, infinite free time and all that. I couldn't play video games during the weekday because that's how my mom raised me, but every Sunday I'd go to, like, the bookstore with my dad and I'd read manga for, like, hours. And I'd eagerly await for the, like, new volumes of Dragon Ball Z to come out, because I started when 16 was the newest one, so I had to wait for 17. So I'd buy my way back, And yeah, they were $8 a pop at the time, so I had to do a lot of chores and whatnot to, like, Dad, buy me this manga, please. And I got all 26. I was excited. Mom couldn't see what I saw in it, because she was never into comic books, and she just thought that's what they were, comic books. Like, shut up, Mom, you don't know anything. Good times. And I read anything, because I was always on the hunt for a good manga. So I got all the Dragon Ball Z. I got all 4 of this series called Legends, if anyone remembers that. It's really pretty much like Digimon. Got 4 volumes of Mega Man NT Warrior. The only 4 volumes of Naruto that I couldn't read in the store because they were like... back in like 2006, I want to say. Maybe 2007. I think it was 2006. They came out with like 4 every month. Or no, 3 every month. And the first 2 you could read, but the 3rd one was wrapped up because it had like some sort of like sweepstakes or something in it. So I had to buy them. So I have volume 21, 24, 27, and then 28 was wrapped too, and that was the start of Shippuden. I don't know if it was wrapped, but I do remember. I don't know why I bought it. And then I got volumes 4 through 10 of Zatch Bell. And then I fell out of Zatch Bell for a while. I don't remember what happened there. Then I came back, it was like on volume 23. And then Viz Media stopped translating it, like either at 23 or shortly afterward. So I had to find it elsewhere, some translated version online that I only finished like a month ago. A little over a month ago at this point. And then 1 volume. And like there's the Pokemon Adventures manga. There was like the greatest hits edition, and it was like the best chapters of that, which I think is the stupidest thing now because it cuts out so much of the story that I had no idea what I was reading. It's like, yeah, he's got 2 gym badges. Oh, whoops, now he's at Cinnabar Island. Now he's the Pokemon champion, and it's like, what? And I remember the absolute first bit of... Probably not the absolute first bit of manga, because I'm pretty sure volume 15 of Dragon Ball Z was. Yeah, 15, huh?
The advantage. Proceed.
But it's like this secrets revealed thing of Dragon Ball Z, and I got it in some bookstore like 2 states away from where I live when I was visiting friends. It's like down in South Carolina, and I'm like, alright, cool, this is cool. Like, some kid was reading it, and I'm like, you gonna finish that? And he's like, nah. I was terrified he was gonna buy it because I wanted it so bad. And he ended up putting it back. I snapped that shit up as fast as I possibly could because I love Dragon Ball Z. And I was used to all like the translated names, like Kuririn being Krillin, Makak and Sapo being the special beam cannon. So I had no idea what I was reading, and I instantly regretted buying it. Then I started learning more and more about it, and it was really cool. So I knew like all about all the different movies that had come out before the movies had come out. Or at least before I'd seen them. It was really cool. I liked those days. I used to watch I don't want to say I watched a lot of anime back then, because really all I watched was like Saturday nights on Toonami. And then like Adult Swim, where they showed like the edgier animes, I guess, like even not really edgy, like they'd show like your Bleaches, they'd show like Bleach, they'd show Full Metal Alchemist, they'd show Eureka 7. Eureka 7's my favorite anime of all time, though. I know it's like Eureka 7, but it's easier just to be like, what did you say? And you just sooner say Eureka 7. We're actually getting close to the end of the dungeon here. Here I am just talking about manga and anime from 2005, 2006 times. Then I got into middle school and everyone I know stopped watching anime or reading manga. So I stopped too. Yeah, that was the most annoying dungeon, or puzzle, in the dungeon, in my opinion. Or maybe it's a little further up. Because I actually haven't been watching this either, I've just been looking at my bookshelf with the manga on it. I take a picture and edit it in, but I'm afraid I'm going to screw something up. Yeah, no, this is it, I think. I'm staring at this, like wondering, what am I supposed to do? Can't go any farther, it's invisible. And I'm like, no, let me through, I want it to be over. Yep, this is it. This one reminds me so much of Horologium, I could scream. And while we wait for that to get through, I'm just going to talk about anime and manga some more. But yeah, going to middle school, it's 2006, I'm 11 years old, and everyone I know stops. I got so scared. Like, suffer, damn it, you guys, we don't get to run away. Not like in middle school, like, I didn't know anyone, because I went to a vastly different middle school than everyone I'd grown up in elementary school with, except for, like, a few people. And, like, even the guys I used to play RuneScape religiously with back in those days, I lost contact with, even if they did go to the same school as me. I ended up making new friends, but nothing really to the extent of what I had in elementary school. Until Pokemon Diamond and Pearl came out, then it was like, wowzers. That's why Sinnoh is still my favorite games next to Pokemon Gold. Pokemon Gold for nostalgia, Pearl for different nostalgia. Then at 7th grade is where I started meeting more people into anime and manga and whatnot. And then in 8th grade I met this one girl and she was huge into it. Like, so much so that, honestly, even I was like, really? I ended up dating her, didn't work out too well. Later in life, of course. Didn't really do much dating in 8th grade. Or do you? I don't know. Didn't really do much dating in general until I was a senior in high school. Yeah, honestly, I didn't do much dates until like early last year. But that was that. This is now. It's a different day. Still enjoy me a nice anime, even though I wish I had a little more time to watch it, because between LP and work and school, I'd like to sit down and finish Eureka 7 once and for all. It's my favorite anime in the world, and I've never gotten further than episode 14. Except like bits and pieces where I'd come in like the episode 30s and whatnot, like when I'd watch on Adult Swim. I think I saw the final episode, but I don't remember enough about it to really be worried about spoilers. I think Surf's spine and whatnot has got to be a little crooked from that. I was terrified that one was just going to take me like right out front, like that one before, in the last episode. But it put me right there. And that's it. That's the Karma Temple. There are no more puzzles. That's it. All that's left is the home stretch. I don't know why they just didn't give you another large Karma terminal here. Because if you leave for any reason and want to come back, you've got to go through those puzzles again. Now, I put the wrong skill on Argilla here. The first time I fought this boss, it loved to only target Argilla and hit her with physical attacks. Looking back in this fight, I really wish I had, like, null nerf. Or null anything other than resist physical. Because I almost lost this fight coming up. I say almost. Because I'm too good to lose. Not really. It's not for the best at all. Sorry, Ananta, but no. That's the same noise the temple guards made. They're all snakes on the inside. Now this is Ananta. It absorbs earth and reflects force. It loves status effects. And apparently once it realized that Argilla had to resist Fizz, it only goes for Surf. Now I went Agidine over Last Word here because I still have Fire Boost and Amp. It doesn't resist it or anything, and it's a lot less costly to use Agidine. Also, if you have Tikaja, use it. Bring Tikaja to this fight. Grind for it, I don't care. Bring Tikaja or use like a Tikaja rock. I think I had Tikaja rocks. I'm glad that worked out as well as it did. Something about bosses buffing up in fights, for some reason, I tend to ignore. It also knows Dia. So if that Diorama, that'd be way OP. It has Tikaja. I'm pretty sure it has Jakunda. Now I saw this, and I got very scared. It buffed itself all the way up with Tikaja. And now on my character with the highest vitality, it's doing 86 damage. It's got 7 press turn icons, the second most in the game. Only an optional boss has more. I think it has like 8. Once it gets going, it just doesn't stop going. The fight against Ananta can be very scary, and here it was very scary. Be prepared with all the null, nerve stuff, all that, bring it. So it'll waste icons on Sonic Wave, and Stun Wave, and all the other status effects it has. Bring Tikaja so its regular attack won't do so much. Even after it power charges. I swear I've used Mind Charge like 3 times in a row now, and I don't know why I keep doing it. I keep thinking I've already used it. I think the fight probably would have gone a lot smoother if I had just not been retarded. I really probably should edit that out before people get mad at me. Yes, it was a slip of the tongue. If I hadn't been stupid about it. For that old JonTron debacle, I should really be a lot more careful with my words, huh? This is the point where I was afraid I was going to have to, I was not going to restart the recording, definitely not, but I was afraid I was going to have to do something different. Especially because Tsukukaja didn't work half as well as I wanted it to in this fight. Like I'd sooner you were asleep than stunned. Because at least when you're asleep, you can't do stupid stuff. I guess Miragidyne could have been worse. I didn't know if I wanted to get rid of the stun, or should I let Gale die? And I'd like to grab in a meat shield. Two Dias! Now let's get that defense up. And that agility. I don't know what they were thinking giving 7 press turn icons to a demon. So glad when I could go through stun. Tsukukaja at this point was just to try to match up with Ananta here. I figured since he was in the red, just regular Agidynes would be enough. Now remember when I said I'd sooner you'd be stunned than asleep? Or sleep than stun. Turns out you can stun through sleep, but I don't know if you can sleep through stun. This is where I was afraid I was going to lose. So close! Yet so far away. Oh, now we're both asleep. Whoops, now I'm 4 loco. Whoops, now I'm stunned. Not asleep, though. I said, definitely could have been worse. At least you didn't get hit last time, so it gives me time to use a revival gem. If I got hit last round, I might have lost this fight. It came that closely down to the wire. Now this is a fight where I probably wouldn't have minded Sama or Karim, because I use a lot of revival gems here. Now, if I had the revival orb, it wouldn't have been an issue at all. That's when I forgot where the revival gems were. Either screw it, if Gale dies, whatever. But I won, thank God. I had to let that victory roar out. Now what I've been doing is, usually with building surf skills now, is 2 points in Vitality, 1 into Agility, then 2 points into Agility, 1 in Vitality. Now, to get the super bosses to trigger, like the super bosses still haven't shown up yet. You have to get to this room in the game before they'll show up, but if you just beat Ananta and then go back down, they won't be there. Until it says topmost level at the corner of the screen, the super bosses are not down there. Except for like a few, I think, but the ones you want, like all of them, won't show up until you get to the topmost level. But now, since I've elected to fight the super bosses, I'm going to end the episode here. If I didn't, the next episode would have been the finale. I'll see you guys next time.